Okay, nice. What's going on? How are you?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. All right, let's not waste time, man. Would you be willing to recite Al-Fatiha for us today? And I'll recite it after you.
Okay, no problem, man. So is that the condition that we're gonna go by? Just reciting Al-Fatiha?
What do you mean condition?
I mean, so we're gonna have a talk, right, about Hadith? We're reciting.
Uh, well, the thing I had a conversation with your friends on TikTok. I was hoping to have that conversation with you. I was wondering if maybe you'd be willing to have that conversation.
Okay, but I mean, those are not my beliefs. You're coming with your beliefs, so can you substantiate your beliefs? So we'll then.
No, it's not about no. So I'm not questioning. It's not about my belief or your belief. This. So here's the deal. So we both believe in the Quran, a book called the Quran. We both recite the Quran.
Yeah.
However, you and I, well, first we have to establish, do we recite it the same way? Now, even if not, whether we do or not is first we find that out. Then after that, we find out, okay, what criteria do we both use, or do I even have a criteria? I don't know. We'll see. Do we both have a criteria to establish whether we recite the Quran correctly, or is it just like we don't know? Is it kind of a guessing game? That's something I want to establish because look, you're very adamant to talk about hadith, and I'd love to talk about hadith with you. I'd love to, but as a Sunni Muslim, the Quran comes first, and I would assume for you as a hadith rejector, the Quran is all you got. So it's like I would think the Quran is something that you'd be more in, how do I say this, willing to discuss, right? I mean, for someone who loves the Quran so much, you seem to be willing to talk about everything but the Quran. So would you be willing to discuss the topic of recitation of the Quran?
Uh, so here's the thing. Okay, so I'm willing to discuss with you the recitation. So basically, I'm reciting the Quran to you. You recite it back, and then I don't see like the issue about that. Like, I mean, does the Quran tell you there's a certain way of reciting it? If Quran comes first to you, then why is there a question of there's a different recitation for the Quran? You know what I'm saying? You just made a.
So if two people come to you reciting two different ways,
Mhm.
what do you do then? Do you just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Do you accept both of them? Do you reject both of them? What
But
do you
how
do?
would they come to me reciting something different though? Would they not just recite the Quran
Uh,
that's as it is right now?
do Muslims today only recite the Quran in one way?
But do you have a Quran that has different
Give
translation?
me that 1 second. 1 second. This isn't about translation. We're not talking about
I'm
translation.
sorry, different recitation. I meant.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, people recite there's different recitations of the Quran. Now, you may not agree with them. You may not believe that they're legitimate. That's fine. But Muslims today, I don't know if you're aware. I thought you were aware of this. Muslims today claim, you may not agree, but they claim that there are different ways to recite the Quran, and they do. If you go on YouTube, you can find different recitations of the Quran. You can find Hafs and Asim. You can find Warsh. I'm guessing Hafs and Asim is the one you read just because it's the most popular one, right? But there, whether you like it or not, Muslims claim, at least claim, that there are many different ways, multiple different ways to recite the Quran. So my question to you is, do you? And this is the reason why I wanted us to recite Al-Fatiha, right? To find out, okay, firstly, how do we recite? And then how do I know the way I'm reciting is the correct way? Because, bro, you realize there are a lot of ways that people can, if someone comes and just recites anything to me, am I going to come and just accept it like that? No, obviously not. If two people come, because they exist, if multiple people come reciting Quran to me, but it sounds different, and like they're pronouncing words different, and the wording is different, this, that, the other, well, I'm not just going to be like, well, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I mean, I don't know if you would, maybe not, but me, I'm going to be like, well, I got to know which one of these is correct. Or maybe all of them are correct, or maybe none of them are. But I need a methodology. So my guess is, what would you do in that situation?
But I'm asking you because, okay, this methodology that you have, it doesn't come from the Quran. It doesn't tell you to pick and choose who's reciting it properly or not. If there's a Quran, if people are claiming this is Quran and they're reciting it, who are you to judge them and say that, oh, they're not reciting it properly? You know that students of the Quran, for example, when they recite the Quran, they make mistakes on pronunciation and they get
I'm not
corrected by their
talking about.
teachers.
I'm not talking about mistakes. I'm talking about if someone came and told you blah 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 blah. That is the correct way to recite Quran. Would you accept it?
No, obviously, blah 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 wouldn't be the right way of reciting the Quran, right?
Okay, well if you've never heard the Quran before and you don't know anything about the Arabic language, you've never heard it before. Well, how would you know? You just like you basically you're saying right now you would just gullibly accept anything. You just swallow anything that comes your way.
But
You know what's
you
funny?
would
You know
okay
what's funny?
for
You know
yeah.
what's
But
funny?
for example,
You know
okay,
what's
let's
funny?
say
You know
for
what's funny?
example,
You know what's funny? You accuse hadith of just being random hearsay, but it sounds to me like you accept random hearsay. Well, if someone comes to me claiming that it's the Quran, why would I not accept it? Why would I not just? Why would I question them? Well, you have to question everything you hear, right?
okay, let's just go over with the recitation, and
Good. All right.
then we'll
Good.
continue with like if because I don't want to talk about like, oh, this is the right way of reciting. I'm not like interested in that kind of stuff, right? Because to me there's only one Quran.
I'm Mulad, that's great. I'm interested. Okay, if you're not interested in the Quran, that's fine. I'm interested in the Quran. As a Muslim, I'm telling the Quranist that I'm interested in the Quran. If you're not, no problem. You can always leave respectfully, no hard feelings. But as a Muslim, I'm interested in the Quran. I'm interested in the Quran. So I want to
I
discuss.
am too, so that's why.
And I don't believe in just accept, if some random human being comes and gives me blah 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 and says that's Quran. Well, I'm not just gonna swallow it and like this. Yep, I'll take it. No, I'm gonna question it. Is this the Quran? Is this actually the Quran? Is this what the Prophet Muhammad taught? Right? Just like hadith, is this something the Prophet Muhammad actually said, or is this something someone's just making up? Maybe they're making it up. It's possible. It's possible. It seems like this ultra skepticism that you're willing to put on hadith is just non-existent for the Quran for you. Non-existent. You're seems I don't know why, like you're refusing to do that. So how about this? Look. Let's just you and me recite al-Fatiha. I'll recite al-Fatiha. You can recite however you like. I don't know how it seems to me like it doesn't matter how to recite, so just recite whatever. And then I'm going to recite al-Fatiha, and then I'll give you my methodology, or you can give yours first if you like, whichever you want. We'll both give our methodologies to know which one is, or how I know what I'm reciting is correct. And then we'll go from there. Unless you don't believe it matters how we recite the Quran. So could you this is a clarifying question. Do you believe that it doesn't matter how we recite the Quran? You can recite it however you like, with whatever tajweed you'd like, with whatever wording you'd like. Doesn't matter. You can recite it however you'd like. Is that what you believe?
Yeah, correct. I believe in that. Yeah.
Okay. So you can change any word you can recite the Quran with any word you like.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So you can recite the Quran with any words you like. I can switch any word I'd like. If I don't like this word, I can use another word. I can basically make up my own recitation with whatever
No,
words.
I never said that because then the translation wouldn't make sense, right? Obviously.
Okay.
So you can't just change the Quran, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So I'll give you an example. If I want to say Malik Yawmiddin or Malik Yawmiddin, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to ask that. How about we both recite a Fatiha? Can we just start with that?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll go first. Or you want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. There you go.
Beautiful. So now I'm gonna do it now. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. Now,
okay, you added Amin at the end, right? So
one second. So now, do you mind if I recite it a second time? Would you mind?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Beautiful. Everyone listen carefully. Everyone pay attention. And you can recite it a second time if you'd like, but I'll give you the chance to do it if you like. Just listen carefully, everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik Yawm al-Din. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. Right? Now I think that was Hafs and Asim. That was Warsh. I believe I got that correct. In any case, so Milad, if you notice, I just recited the Al-Fatiha in two different ways. Okay. My question to you is, which one of those is the correct way? Or how about this? Which one of those did the Prophet teach?
Both are correct because you yourself don't know what the Prophet teach because you weren't there to know what he taught to you. So both of them are correct. And if someone has a pronunciation, like I have a different pronunciation, it shouldn't matter because it's the same Quran with the same message.
Beautiful. So just to be clear, how do you know either of them are correct? Could both of them be wrong? Could the Prophet have recited something completely different?
Because they have the same message, right? So I'm not sure what the Prophet. What if the Prophet didn't recite either of those the way that you recited? Maybe he recited differently. How do you know that? Can you prove it to me?
Well, I was going to ask you those questions. So according to you,
But no, you're making a
no,
claim, though. I'm not making
hold
this
on,
claim.
Milad, hold on. So, Milad, so just to be, I want to be sure I understand you what you're saying. We don't know how the Prophet Muhammad recited the Quran. You're saying that right now on camera, everyone's listening. You came here. You said you were acting all confident in my messages. We don't know how the Prophet Muhammad recited the Quran.
Are you asking me if I'm
Yeah,
saying this?
I'm asking.
Yeah. We don't know because we weren't there. We didn't hear him recite. Correct or no?
No, of course I wasn't there.
Okay.
Unless we have we can establish a methodology to know what the Prophet recited. I agree. We have no way to know. It's just a guessing game.
So how do you establish that?
So
Can you
basically,
explain that to
guys,
me?
you've admitted the Quran is just a guessing game. Mashallah, mashallah.
How is it a guessing game? I don't get it.
Well, Milad, if you don't know how the Prophet recited it, then you don't know how the Prophet recited it. It's just a guessing game. He might.
But you don't know either. You don't know either. You're making assumptions.
Milad. Oh, hold on. Don't make false assumptions about me. Hold on. I'm talking about your position. Now, I'll tell you how I know. No problem. But first, because Milad, I've heard a lot of problematic things here. When I asked you before, well, how do you know how the Prophet recited? You go, how do you, because, sorry, let me backtrack. Earlier you said, well, if someone comes to you with the Quran and basically says, this is the Quran, why would you question it? Why would you question it? Why would you do that? Well, if someone came and recited blah, 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 I'm not just going to gullibly swallow that and take that and be like, oh, yeah, okay, that's the Quran. Oh, yeah. It's like, no, you need to establish, did the Prophet actually say that? Is that actually correct? I'll tell you what. You know, for example, there's a recitation, Malaka Yawmuddin. That's rejected. Muslims don't recite that. There were people at one point who tried to recite that, but that's rejected because it can't authentically be traced back to the Prophet. It seems like you, on the other hand, because as far as I'm aware, that meaning doesn't contradict. I forget what the exact meaning was, but the meaning doesn't exactly contradict, and it comes from the same root word. According to you, you can quite literally recite the Quran however you'd like, with whatever tajweed you'd like, so long as, how do I say this? So long as there's no contradiction or anything like that, then it's fine. So basically, the Quran is basically whatever you want it to be. Sounds like it.
If that's your assumptions, yeah, go ahead. That's not what I think.
So what do you think? So what did I say that's wrong? What did I say right now? Am I misrepresenting you?
You are, but go ahead and prove your point then. Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't want to misrepresent you. How am I misrepresenting you? Go ahead. You can defend yourself, by the way. This isn't a monologue.
I know, but you don't allow me to speak. Every time I speak, you try to cut me off. So, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay, no,
just make your proof. Make your claim then. Make your claim. How you have the right recitation, for example.
Okay, so you said I'm misrepresenting you, but you don't want to defend yourself.
Okay, you misrepresent me because, I'll tell you. Okay, the Quran that we have today, it's been said in the Quran itself that it's going to be preserved by Allah. And I can give you verses of the Quran that says that. So when someone comes and says blah, 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 obviously you're going to know that's not from the Quran because the Quran is preserved, right? So the recitation, and second of all, I don't have an issue with the recitation because the recitation does not take me to heaven or hell. You know what I'm saying? If I recite it incorrectly, it has nothing to do it has nothing to do personally to me, for example. You know what I'm saying? If that's an issue for you where you want to know the correct recitation, then you can go ahead and study more and find out how the recitation was done by the Prophet. But don't sit there and tell me that the Prophet told us that there's going to be 7 qira'at of the Quran, and yet you cannot prove the hadiths to me that those are the sayings of the Prophet. And second of all, the Quran never mentions any of these recitations to be wrong. Quran, if there was a mention of this, then I would admit it and be like, okay, yeah, this is true. There's supposed to be 7 qira'ats, and this is what the Quran says, and it agrees with what the hadith says as well.
Okay, so there's a couple of problems here, Milad. I'm seeing a lot of circular reasoning here. You said, well, you know what? If someone comes and says, because I'll take you back to the statement you said earlier. If someone comes to you reciting Quran to you, why would you question them? Interesting. You question every hadith. No, there's no way the Prophet said this. But if someone comes to you reciting Quran, no, why would I question it? Why would somebody lie? Okay.
Brother Dawah, okay, reciting the Quran.
I'll let you finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll let you finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Well, if you change the recitation of the Quran, if you change the tajweed of the Quran, if you change the wording of the Quran, that means you can change literally any word in the Quran you like. That means the Quran has basically disappeared at that point. Like I can, where's my mushaf? My mushaf is in my, it's right here, right? This right here, any one of these words, I can change any one of these words I like. That is literally what you're saying. If I can recite, because bro, recitation in Arabic, when you change tajweed, it changes meaning. It changes meaning. If you're saying I can recite any of these words I like, you're quite literally saying I don't have to use any of these words. That is quite literally what you're saying. Whether you realize you're admitting that or not, that is what you're admitting. You may not realize it, but that is what you're admitting. Oh, it doesn't matter how you recite. We don't actually know how the Prophet recited. So all of this could be false. Brothers and sisters, this could all be false, according to me. That he claims he's a Muslim, but according to him, this could all be fake news. All of it. Whether you want to admit it or not, that is what you're saying. If we can recite it how we like, we don't know how the Prophet said it, that means this could all be false. This could all be false. We don't know. Like, are you telling us this could all be false? All these words could be false.
I never claimed that, brother. I've never claimed that those are false. I've claimed the Quran is preserved.
They could be. They could be.
If that's what you take from it, then go ahead and say it. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Quran is preserved. So go ahead.
And you can keep saying it. You can keep repeating your belief. That doesn't mean anything. And by the way, you give the verse of the Quran. Oh, the Quran says it's going to be preserved. Well, okay. Well, how do you know? Those are the exact words used? How do you know it's supposed to say preserved and not something else? How do you even know that verse was originally part of the Quran? How would you know that?
Because I have faith in Allah. That's why, brother.
Okay. So
how do you know? Just because the Hadith says it? So you believe
Milad,
you have more faith in Hadith than the Quran?
Milad. Here's the problem, Milad. Do you know the difference between faith and delusion? Do you know the difference?
Sorry, say it again.
Do you know the difference between faith and delusion?
Yeah, I know
because this is what you're saying right now is exactly what Christians tell me. When I ask them, why do you believe in the New Testament? I have faith in Yahweh. I have faith in Jesus. I have faith in this. Yeah, sure. Sure. We can't prove it's preserved. Yeah, sure. We can't prove anything about it. But no. We have faith. We have faith. You are identical to them. Quite literally, identical to them. You don't know why you believe what you believe. The only reason you actually want to hold on to the Quran is because you don't want to fully reject Islam. You want to reject everything about Islam you don't like, but except you want to hold on to the name tag of a Muslim, so you want to hold on to the Quran, but you don't actually know why you believe in the Quran. For all you know, as a Hadith rejector, you said it yourself. You don't know how the Quran is recited. You don't know and if you change the recitation of the word, it changes the word completely. I mean, if you know anything about the Arabic language, anything, like I'll give you an example. Do you know the word Jama, like when the Friday prayer? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
I know you probably don't do it, but anyway.
I know you don't know the exact word of Jama, what it means.
1 second.
No,
Jum'ah,
hold on. You make a claim against me.
One second. Jum'ah means Friday, correct?
No, it doesn't. You need to look up the word Jama, what it means.
Okay. What does Jum'ah mean? Jum'ah.
Hold on. Let me pull it up for you. 1 sec. Okay, just continue talking.
What does Jum'ah mean?
No, I've had look. Listen, I've studied this. I've researched this word, so I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it out.
Okay, beautiful. Then help me out. What does Jama mean? Jama.
I'm gonna pull it out. 1 sec.
So you don't know. Okay, I'll just tell you. Jama means a gathering. What does now? Let me ask you this. What does Jama mean? Just say I don't know, bro. Come on, just don't waste my time. Just say you don't know. Hello, Milad.
Yeah. Go ahead, talk. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay, well, if you're listening, then answer. What do you know? What Jama means?
Bro, I said I've done the research on the word Jama, and it doesn't mean Friday prayers.
I'm not asking you about the word Jama. I said Jama.
No. Jama could mean, look, I speak. So listen, my background is Afghan, okay, so I can understand some of the words that's in Arabic because it's mix of Arabic words. Jama means jam, like to gather. Yes.
Okay, good. I just told you no. Jama, not Jama. Jama. There's a difference.
Jama, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Jama and Jama are two different words. Do you know the difference?
I understand. Yes. Yeah.
But what's the difference? If you don't know, it's fine. I'm not holding it against you.
I told you, Jama means jam, like to gather, to add. You know what I'm saying?
Jama.
Yes.
What does Jama mean?
Yes.
What does Jama? Not Jama. Jama. They're two different words, my friend.
That's okay. Listen, can you just listen what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The word Jama, I said I've looked it up and I'm gonna pull it out. But
I'm
the
not
word Jama, wait, let
word.
me finish. The word Jama, the one that you're talking about, Jama in the language of Farsi, which I assume it came from the Arabic
What
word.
language am I speaking? I'm not speaking Farsi. What like? Oh my days. We're talking about Arabic, my friend. Okay. Do I have to specify that much for you? We're talking about Arabic. Do you know what the Arabic word Jama, not Jama, Jama, not in Hebrew, not in English, not in Portuguese, in Arabic? Do you know what it means? I'll just tell you because you're refusing to say I don't know. Jama means university or college. Jama means a gathering, and Jum'ah means Friday, or referring to the Friday prayer. Okay, so notice the difference in meaning. A slight difference in recitation, very slight, completely flips the meaning. Completely flips the meaning. So no, reciting a little bit different here and there. Well, we can pick however we like. We don't know how the Prophet recited. My friend, if you knew anything about the Arabic language, I mean anything, but I'm not an expert. I know very little about the Arabic language. But if you knew anything, you would know that not knowing how to correctly recite words in Arabic literally changes the meaning completely. Completely. Himad in Arabic means donkey. Khimad is referring to the head covering. Two completely different words, but with a slight difference in recitation. And himad, himad. Very close, but
Okay,
completely
hold on,
different.
hold on. You do go on a monologue and you don't let me talk. Now you just made a mistake here. As an
Okay.
Arab speaker that you claim to be, you just said that khimar means a head cover. Okay,
Okay.
you claim that, right? Is that right? Correct.
It depends how the word is used. It can be used, for example,
So what are
for
you talking? So then why do you say khimar means head cover? Then why did you not say
Milad,
depends
Milad,
on how the
Milad,
word is used?
Milad,
Why did you
Milad,
not say that then?
Milad. Did you miss the point I made entirely?
No, I didn't miss the point, but you make some
What was my point?
points.
What was my point? What was my point?
That you made a point that
What was my point?
himar
That's
means
not the point I made. That's not the point I made. Stop lying. What was the point I made? What was the reason I said all that?
okay, I'll tell you. The reason why you said all this is because you're saying a slight difference in the words. It could mean something different. And you
Yes.
gave an example saying that this word means donkey and khamar means head cover, for example.
Bro, do
And
Himad
then
and
I
Khimad mean the same thing?
huh?
Do Himad and Khimad mean the same thing? Bro,
No, because there's
Even if Khimad means rainbow, it's not the point. You're missing the point.
no,
Okay?
I got the point. But as an Arabic speaker yourself, you
I never
still
claimed I'm a fluent Arabic speaker. I never made that claim. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
okay. I thought you said you're an Arab speaker. I don't know. You
I
came on
said
the
I know
live
a
and
little. I said I know some Arabic. My Arabic is
okay.
weak.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so anyways, as you claim to know some words in Arabic, you mentioned khamar means heads covers, so that's why I came in and said that no, that doesn't mean that because khamar, it doesn't mean head cover because when you look at the root word of khamar, it means a covering. It doesn't specifically mean head cover.
Okay, fine. A covering, no problem. A covering, whether it's a foot
So
covering, a hand covering, fine, no problem. I know you're a hadith rejector. You despise the idea of hijab. I know you do. Forget that. No problem. No problem. The point is a covering. Himad, khimad, huge difference in recitation. So would you agree that reciting the Quran correctly is very important? Very important for them to understand the Quran. Would you agree?
sure, yeah.
But you just said it doesn't matter how you recite. You said we don't know how the Prophet recited. So now which
Because
one is it? Does it matter or not matter?
bro, like I said, someone like me or someone that lives in China that comes and recites the Quran, it doesn't matter because the true message of the Quran, if they could understand the translation of it, it says the same message.
Fine, but how do we know what the Quran actually says? How do we know what? I'll tell you what. If I gave someone the Quran, I said, "Read this book. This book is the truth." But the book said, let's say, for example, someone like you was somehow to translate the Quran. Would you be able to? Well, no, because according to you, you can translate any word however you'd like. Any word can be pronounced however you'd like, which changes the meaning, so it can be translated to anything. You don't understand. You don't see the problem here. I'm not saying someone has to be perfectly reciting the Quran to be a Muslim. Of course not. I'm not perfect at reciting the Quran, but the message of the Quran, in order for us to know what it is, for the Ummah to know what it is, we need to know what it says. But if we're not reciting it correctly, that completely changes the meaning of words. That completely changes the message. That changes everything. You don't see the problem?
Yeah, but we could still read it. People who know how to read Arabic, they can still read it and understand what it says, right? It doesn't have to be recitation.
But
And
if they were, but if they don't recite it correctly, if they don't read it correctly, how would they know what it's? How would they know the actual correct way, the correct thing it says? For example, imagine I wanted to read the word himad as chimad. Changes the
But
meaning
then,
completely.
but then in the writing, it would say khimar, not himar. Do you understand this? In writing, when you read something, in for example, in English, when you read something, you can
So
read it
recitation does
correctly.
matter. So
But when you
recitation
pronounce
does
it,
matter.
you may make a mistake in pronouncing it wrong.
Beautiful. So what happens if you find one Quran, one physical copy of the Quran in one recitation, and then you find another physical copy of a different recitation? You have two physical copies. You can read them both. They both, one of them says Malik, one of them says Melik, one of them says Malaka. They're physical copies. Like you can hold them in front of you. Read them both. They both recite things differently. Like, bro, how are you not seeing this issue, man? I don't know
No,
how you're not
because
seeing this issue.
yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because I have faith in God. If God says it's a preserved book, I don't see an issue because this is the stuff that Hadith brings up, not the Quran.
That.
If there was an issue, why would the Quran not tell me about this? I'm asking you, sincere question.
You don't see the circular reasoning in what you're saying. First, you say, I trust what the Quran says, but then you quite literally then say, well, we can't really know what the Quran exactly says. Do you not see the circular reasoning here?
No, I don't see it, brother. I don't see it.
Okay, fine. I'll break it down for you. You said before, your words, not mine. The way we recite doesn't matter. Your words, not mine. Am I correct? Am I misquoting you?
Yeah, no, you're not. Go ahead.
Good. You said the way we recite doesn't matter. We don't know how the Prophet recited, so it doesn't matter. When you just agreed right now that the difference in recitation can drastically change me. If you recite Arabic words, even slightly differently, it can drastically change the meaning. Your words, not mine, correct?
Major differences. It could
Hold
change the
on,
meaning.
hold on,
Major
hold on,
differences, not
hold on.
minor.
It could be minor, it could be major, all sorts of different changes. It can change. The point is, the meaning can drastically change when you recite Arabic words differently, correct?
So show me a major change. Show me a major change in recitation.
Hold on. Himar and khimar. Do you believe
No,
those are
that's
both?
not in the Quran. Show me a major change in the Quran.
One second. So have you gone through all the qira'at yourself?
No, I haven't, because I don't believe in this claim. So you're the one that's making a claim. Prove your claim.
But you're the one who seems to be implying that all of them are minor. All of them, it doesn't matter. So
yes, if there's a minor change, it doesn't matter. So bring me a major change.
So if I made up a recitation with just a minor change, is that fine?
With a minor change, like reciting it very differently, like Malik, Maliki, it shouldn't matter because the root word of the word.
If I was to make one up, like if I was to make one up with a slight difference, would that wouldn't be a problem?
But you're not listening to me. I keep replying to you. I said if it's a minor change in how you pronounce Malik, Malike, Maliki, then it shouldn't matter. But if it's a major change in complete different word, then it matters, right?
Well, in the Arabic language, you realize there are a lot of instances where it makes major difference, but that's not even the point. Well, it is the point, but besides that, on top of that, so you literally believe I can just make up any recitation. Forget those. I can make one up.
No,
as long as it's not a huge.
I keep answering you, but you keep putting words into my mouth. I never said you can make things up, brother.
Hold on.
I never claimed this.
But so do you believe the Prophet recited both of these, Manic and Medic? Or did he recite one of them?
No, because I've never heard the Prophet recite. Right, so how would you know how you recite it?
Right, exactly. So therefore, one of them has to be made up. Well, unless you believe the Prophet recited both.
Well, no, because if people from a different region, no, but listen, if people from a different region of the place recite it slightly different, it makes no difference, bro. We have the same Quran, we have the same message.
You can make up recitation. That's what you're saying. You can make it up.
Okay, you still haven't proven your claim. You keep going back to mine, but you still haven't proven your claim.
The point is,
no, you haven't.
The point is, you basically just admitted you can literally make up a recitation. So long as it doesn't really super contradict, it's no big deal.
I said slight pronunciation. It's not a big deal. Slight pronunciation, it's not a big deal.
Does pronunciation change the words? Does it change the words?
If it changes the word, then it's a big deal. But if it doesn't, it's not a big deal.
Okay, Malik, Medic. Do you know the difference? Malik means owner. Medic means king. Two different words.
But it has the same root word with the same meaning to it.
So first you said changing the words is a problem. Now changing the words is not a problem so long as the meaning isn't that different. Okay.
No, it doesn't change whether it's a ruler or like the owner or the king. It doesn't change the meaning, right?
I agree, but so that means changing the word is not a problem. As long as the meaning is generally the same, it's no big deal, right?
I said yes, exactly. As long
Okay,
as the
good.
major change
Okay,
in the word.
good.
Let me finish.
Good.
As long as there's no major change in the word, there's no like, for example, you're not saying something completely different from the Malik word, then it's not a big deal. But if you're pronouncing it slightly different, it shouldn't matter.
If you're pronouncing slightly different and it makes a different word, but as long as the word is not that different, it's no big deal, correct?
I do I have to still repeat myself? I keep telling you,
Okay,
but then you
Milad,
keep
Milad,
repeating yourself.
Milad. Can you just please just answer me directly? Stop. I asked you one question. You asked me. You answer something slightly different. Just answer directly what I'm asking you. If
I
I
am.
was
I'm,
to
I'm
make
answering you
up, if
sincerely, bro. I'm
answer me
answering you
directly.
sincerely.
If am I allowed to make up a recitation so long as it's recited fairly similar and the meaning isn't that different? Am I allowed to do that?
You're allowed to recite it, and as long as if you're reciting is slightly different, it should not matter.
Even so, okay, just stick to what I'm saying exactly. Not don't give me your description, my description. I want you to let me know if what I'm saying is accurate. Don't hear my question and then answer your own thing. I come along, I make up a recitation. I completely make it up, but it sounds fairly similar to what you recite or to what people recite, right? And the meaning isn't super different. It's a little bit different, but not super different. Is that fine?
Now we're going into like hypothetical
Milad, I
questions.
swear, I'm
You
giving you one
haven't
last
made up.
chance to answer.
Okay,
I'm
make it
giving
up.
you
Make
one
it up.
last
Let's
chance.
see.
I'm giving you
Let's
one
hear
last
it.
chance to answer. Okay,
Let's hear it. Make it up.
Milad, I'm just
So
asking you the
make it
direct
up. So
question.
make it up so
Milad,
I can answer
Milad, I
you.
don't make up verses of the Quran. I don't do that. I'm a Muslim. Get it through your
So
head. I'm a
exactly.
Muslim.
Then why are you
Milad,
talking about this topic?
Milad,
Then why are
Milad,
you talking about this
Milad,
topic?
because it shows that you don't actually have any methodology to know why you believe what you believe. You quite literally just said multiple times, "Well, I just have faith. I just have faith." No problem. That's called
Because by
delusion.
reading the verses, I have faith, brother. By knowing that there is a creator, then I have
Okay,
faith.
okay. If I make up my own recitation of those verses, is it fine? As long as the meaning is generally the same, like the gist of the idea is kind of the same, it's fine.
But it won't be same because you know why? Because you're not able to create another verse like the Quran. That's the problem you have.
Which recitation of the Quran?
Huh?
Which one? Any way to?
Any recitation. You're not able to make anything that's any similar to the Quran. That's what the problem is.
Okay, Manic and Medic. Which one was taught? Which one is the miraculous one taught by the
Do
Prophet?
they not sound the same, Malik or
Which
Malik?
one? Which one was taught by the Prophet? Miraculous.
Whatever Quran that you have, both of them are right.
Excuse me. Which one? Which one is the miraculous one taught by the Prophet?
Because I wasn't there. I don't know which one the Prophet pronounced.
Okay,
I
you don't
wasn't
know.
there.
So one of them is miraculous. So you don't know which one is miraculous, but the other one that people made up is also miraculous.
I don't know because I wasn't there, right? I don't know which one he recited. So I wasn't there. I'm
Yeah.
answering you, but you don't like my answer,
No,
brother.
no, you're
You
not. No,
need to stop getting frustrated.
You're not understanding my
No,
question.
this is a dialogue.
You're not
You don't need
understanding.
to get
You lack.
frustrated. Just calm down.
The prophet taught one of them. We don't know. The prophet may have taught none of them. Correct? It's possible.
It's possible. So prove your claim. You haven't
Right.
even
So
proven
we
your
don't.
claim.
Okay. So bottom line is we don't actually know what the Quran originally said.
How do you know the
It's a
Prophet
guessing
taught?
game. So I mean, Milad, this is one of the biggest reasons why I can't ever identify as a Hadith rejector, because this is what you have to stoop down to, the level of saying we don't actually know what the Quran originally said. That's it. That's pretty much it. Anyway, no problem. I'll tell you about my position. No problem. All right. Now, the way we know how the Quran was recited, the way we know this is the exact way to recite it. It's not a guessing game. I want to recite this word the way this way, that way. Well, that sounds the same, so it's okay. I can change it to that other way. No problem. We don't do that. You know why? Because every single vowel sound, every single letter, every single way of reciting every single letter, we can trace it back through the Hafaz, the people who have memorized the Quran. Every single person, okay, not every single person, but millions of people who have memorized the Quran, because not everyone has an ijazah, but millions of people who have memorized the Quran today have something called an ijazah, which contains an isnad chain, which goes back straight to the lips of the Prophet Muhammad. And not one person, not two people, not 50 people, millions of people. I can get you a child from Pakistan, a child here from California, a child, I don't know where you are, child close to where you live, a child anywhere in the world. They don't even speak the same language. They never met each other. Bring them together. If one of them makes a slight vowel sound, the rest will correct him. But you know, if I got a bunch of your people, your whatever you want to call yourselves, Hadith Rejectors, whatever, in a room, you got each one of you would recite different. Every single one of you would recite different. You wouldn't know. That's the difference.
Where's your proof? I don't see the proof that you just said. So you're bringing me chain of narrations, you said?
Have you ever heard of, have you ever met a sheikh, met an imam ever in your life?
Brother, I'm talking to you right now. I'm not talking to a sheikh.
I know.
So can you just answer me?
I
Where's
never
your
said I'm a
proof?
sheikh. I never said I know I'm not a sheikh. Of course I'm not. I'm asking, have you ever met an imam before?
An imam? Yeah, maybe I have met him before. Yeah. What's your point?
Okay. You can go to any imam at any masjid, ask to see their ijaza, which is their authentication, their certificate to recite the Quran. Every ijaza, most ijazas at least.
Bro, I came on the live with you. You need to prove it to me now.
Excuse
Why
me.
are you sending me to the mosque?
You've never heard of ijazas? You've never heard an ijaza before? You've never heard of that?
No, because I've never heard of the 7 qira'at thing you're talking about. That's why I came here, so you can prove it to me.
Quite literally,
But you're telling me to go see a sheikh.
I mean, Milad, no. Well, Milad, I thought you grew up as a Muslim, so I thought you'd know the basics. My bad. Excuse me for assuming the best in you. Okay, I did. You want me to teach you with Arabic? Do you want me to teach you the Arabic alphabet too? Okay. Anyway, no problem. I can pull up. You can go on the internet. I can get you a picture of one right now if you'd like. A picture of an isnad chain. Would that suffice?
No. Show me. Show it to me. Show proof that it came from them. Show your proof. Show it to me.
You want me to go on like Al-Azhar or something and find a picture of an ijaza? Would that convince you?
No, like, is there names of these people?
Do you not know what an isnad chain is? Oh my God, subhanAllah. An isnad chain is literally a list of names.
Okay, list of names. And you can confirm these people have lived?
You can confirm every single one of this person. Okay, the person, for example, let's say I'm a sheikh. I have an ijaza with an isnad chain, okay? In order for me to have an ijaza is not something I just that falls out of the sky. You have to get it from someone who has an ijaza, right? So by definition, your question doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, can you prove that the university that you got your degree from actually exists? You can't get a degree from a university if the university doesn't exist. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, your question it just shows your level of ignorance. With all due respect,
it doesn't show levels. Okay, listen, brother. I'm asking you for the 5th time now. If you're making a claim that you have chain of narration that goes back to the Prophet, right?
Yeah.
So who was the first person that heard the Prophet recited differently? Can you show it to me?
Many different people.
So show it to me.
Each isnad chain is different. Milad, each isnad chain is different. You realize that, right?
Show it to me though. Show it to me. So show me your proof.
So if I show you an isnad,
don't just say words. I can say the same thing.
That if I show you a picture of an isnad chain online, you'll accept it?
Oh my God! It should be talking about the qira'at of the Quran. If you can show me proof that there's going to be
for the Quran, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about hadith. I'm talking about the Quran. Like if
I show there's going to be 7 different recitations. Show it to me. Yeah, please. Can you show me that?
If I show you, so you want a riwayah of one of the recitations of the Quran. You know each way of reciting has its own riwayah. You know that, right? Do you even know what riwayah means?
Riwayah means narrations. Yes, yeah.
That's not what riwayah. Oh my God, subhanAllah. Anyway, no problem. Forget it. Anyway,
what is riwayah?
Anyway, no problem. Each recitation of the Quran has its own chain of transmission. You know that, right? It's not one for all of them. You didn't know that?
No, I don't know, because I don't believe in that kind of stuff. So you need to prove it to me.
You don't know about that stuff. It's not that you don't believe in it. You don't know about it.
No, brother, I don't believe it because it's not in the Quran. That's why I'm not concerned about these kind of stuff. If it's not in the Quran, why would I be concerned about it?
My friend, I know you're not concerned with this stuff. You're not even concerned with what words the Quran is, what correct wording of the Quran is. You're not even concerned with that. Why would you be concerned about its preservation? You're not even concerned with the correct wording of the Quran. Why would you be concerned about where the Quran came from? You wouldn't care. You don't care. It's that simple.
No, I care. Don't worry. I care. Just make your claim. Prove your claim, please.
Okay. According to you, you can't know what the Quran says.
Why is that?
Because it can be recited anyway, according to you.
No, I didn't say that. It could be.
That's exactly what you.
It could be slightly recited differently because people pronounce things differently. That's fine.
Right. So I can make it up.
Because people are not everyone is an Arabic speaker, bro. Like a Chinese person could be reciting it differently from another person. So
I can make it up.
You don't make it up. You just try your best, and if you recite it differently, that's fine.
I'm not talking about mistakes, Milad. If I came and I told you this is the correct way to recite, blah blah blah, that's not correct, right? Obviously not, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, if I told you that's correct, that's correct. That's not a mistake. It's correct. How would you just prove me?
Because I have the Quran that's preserved, brother.
How do you know? Okay, Milad. All right. Thank you, Milad. Thank you very much, Milad.
So you
Thank you
can't
very much.
prove your claim?
Milad. Thank you very much. Milad, for God's sake, I asked you, if I showed you an image of a riwayah, would you accept it? You haven't
How do
answered
you
that.
believe that? It's an image. How do you believe that? How do you know that's true? How do you know that?
I haven't. You
How
want
do
me
you
to?
know those people are truth? How do you know those? It's not a made up. It's
Wait.
not a made up document online. How do you know that?
So you want me to go get my actual sheikh and show you his?
Bro, you need to show me from the Prophet's sayings. Show me him talking about it. Show me him saying that there's going to be 7 qira'ats in the Quran. Show me that. Show me. Can you show me that?
Milad. There are different ways of reciting the Quran. Different people today recite the
Who
Quran.
told you this? Who told you this? Wait,
Hold
I'm
on a
asking you. Who
second.
told you this?
I gotta speak. I have to speak. Every single one of these ways of recitation has an isnad chain. Okay.
But who told
you
you
can
this?
go. Hold on. You can go to any copy of any of these. Have you ever picked up a Quran before? If you ever picked up a Quran before, you'd know this. If you turn it's usually found in the back. Usually, it depends which copy you have. If you've even picked up a mushaf before, somehow I doubt whether you have, but let's say you have. If you ever picked up one before, you either sometimes it's in the front, sometimes it's in the back. They give you the isnad chain. Have you ever even picked up a mushaf before?
Listen. So I'm asking you again. Can you?
Okay, listen, man. Listen. Milad, do me a favor. Go and you don't know even the first thing about this topic. You just said it yourself. You know nothing about this topic. Each one of these
because the Quran doesn't tell me about this topic, brother.
Milad. The Quran, the Quran doesn't tell you that Mars exists, but Mars exists whether you like it or not. Okay.
Yeah, but knowing Mars exists will not get me to heaven, brother. That's why the Quran doesn't tell me.
Excuse me, irrelevant. Not the point I'm making. This Quran, this is one way of reciting. There are people, whether you want to admit it or not, there are people in West Africa who recite differently. You can claim to recite differently. They have a different recitation. According to you, they're both correct. I'd like to know, okay, I wanted to know, what is your methodology to know whether they're correct or not? You said we cannot know. We cannot know how the Quran has been recited. You keep on saying the Quran doesn't say this, the Quran doesn't say that. How do you know anything the Quran says if it can be recited any way? It can be any wording. The wording of this Quran can be used in any way. I can change any one of these words as long as it sounds semi-similar. The meaning is close enough. It's a little bit different, but close enough. So, you don't see the problem here?
Can I explain? Can I explain? And then you can just maybe like drop me or something like that. But let me explain.
Well, you want me to, sure.
Okay, but let me explain. By reciting it slightly different, right? If you reflect on the Quran and if you know it's from God, what's the issue with that? I don't understand what you're trying to claim. So if I recite it slightly different, there shouldn't be an issue. And then, second of all,
even if you make it up,
No, not if you make it up. But I'm saying if you slightly different because you pronounce things differently, because you reflect on the message of the Quran. You don't reflect on the recitation.
So the different ways people recite, are those made up? Are those from God?
If the message of the Quran is the same, it's from God.
I didn't ask you about the message. I said the way people recite. Because the Prophet didn't, according to you, the Prophet recited only in one way. The other ways, were those taught by the Prophet or were those made up? There's only two options.
According to me, I don't know how the Prophet recited because I wasn't there.
That's not what I asked you. Not what I asked
have the Quran
right now. That is not what I asked you. Stop ignoring me. Stop insulting my intelligence. I didn't ask you whether you know which one. I know you don't. You're an agnostic basically when it comes to the Quran. You're an agnostic. No problem. The Prophet recited one way. You don't know what that way is. If the Prophet recited only one way, what does that mean about the rest of those ways? They're made up. They're made up, right?
Yeah, but because people recite it differently, because people pronounce things differently, that doesn't make the Quran is made up.
Even if it changes, so we're at liberty to change the words of the Quran, so long as it's not that different.
No, we're not at liberty of changing the meaning of the Quran. Quran came and it's preserved, and we have the Quran today. So, but people recite things differently
it's preserved. But you can recite the words however you like.
Because people like me and like people like around the world, they're not Arab speakers, so they pronounce things differently. That's what I'm trying to get to you. But anyways, can you show me?
You're okay, let me just. You're a lost soul. Go on. What we have a question? Go on.
Yeah, let me just ask my last question, and I'll go ahead and leave. Can you show me from the word of the Prophet that the Quran was brought down in 7 qira'ats, just like you claimed it was?
Oh, so if I show you a hadith where the Prophet mentioned how the Quran was revealed in several different modes, you accept it?
Yeah, I'll look at it, right? I'll look at it. So can you show me, please?
You never looked into this? Okay, sure.
Just give me the reference myself. I'll look it up
Okay,
right
hold
here,
on.
okay?
I mean, I'm confused why this is going to matter to you. You reject hadith. I mean, I'll give it to you, no problem. But it's like, okay. All right, 1 second. Beautiful. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I think this is, I believe it is. Hold up. Let me share my screen. Oh, if my computer wants to work with me, hold up 1 second. Oh, I didn't kick him. Guys. But anyway, I just got the hadith here. Milad, if you're still watching, I have the hadith right here. I don't know where you went, but I didn't kick him. Guys, I didn't kick him. Oh, he's back. Oh, here.
Yeah, I apologize.
That's fine. Here, whatever. Here, here you go. Okay, here you go. This is Sahih Muslim 819.
Okay, can you give me the reference number so I can look it up?
This is Sahih Muslim 819A.
Okay, 1 second, please.
Just take a screenshot.
8198.
819A.
98, okay.
It's in front of you, by the way. You're looking at the screen. Okay, cool.
Okay, so basically someone reported about the Prophet that he said this, right? It's not him talking, actually.
Ibn Abbas reported Allah's messenger as saying.
Yeah, so someone reported him not verbatimly speaking in the hadith, right? So does that make it true?
This is a quotation. Okay, you want me to get you
It's a quotation, right?
Wait,
is the Quran quotation or word of God?
Wait a minute. Hold on. You wanted a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad said this, where the companion said the Prophet.
Yeah, but he's not saying this though. It's people reporting that he said this. It's not him talking.
Bilad, were you there with did you hear the Prophet Muhammad speak, or do you have to hear someone else tell you? Come on, man. Bro, are you being serious?
Bro, this is people reporting it. It's not him talking.
Milad, there's no hadith. Milad, you're not going to go to, there's no book of hadith that goes, Muhammad said this. They're going to give a source. They have to give a source.
Okay, so why is the Quran not like that then? Why is the Quran just verbatimly like God's words?
Milad, I told you, if you go to any copy of the Quran, like I said, this proves you've never looked at one before. If you go to any copy,
no. Why is the Quran the word of God?
I'm answering. Because the Quran is the kalam Allah, according to, if you open any copy of the Quran, you look at the isnad chain, look at the riwayah, it'll say, min this person, from this person, from this person, from this person, from the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Okay.
Huh?
All right.
Bro, the Quran is literally the Allah's words in it. He's talking in there.
Oh my God.
So
it was recited by the Prophet. It was recited by the Prophet.
Huh?
It was the Quran wasn't recited. You don't believe the Prophet Muhammad recited the Quran?
No, I can't hear you because you're yelling, bro. Can you just keep chill? Like I'm talking to you properly. Like, why are you getting angry for some reason? You brought me up and I'm talking to you.
Milad, if you're gonna ignore half the things I say,
I'm not ignoring. You're just making contradictory stories.
Milad. So what did the companions of the Prophet Muhammad say the Prophet said?
They said that he said. Okay. Which I don't believe that because they said
you don't have to. Milad, I know you don't. You're a hadith rejector and a Quran rejector also.
This is why I rejected, because he's not speaking in the hadiths. If he were to leave us a hadith, Milad, wait a minute, hold on. So if I find you a direct quotation, if I find a sahabi who says the Prophet Muhammad said and then gives you a direct quotation, you'll accept that? No, because
so what are you talking about then, man? What are you talking about? Stop.
I'll explain. Oh my God. Okay. Would people accept Ramsey's friends quoting you, or would they accept you talking to them? Which one
If I
would they
was
accept?
if I was dead, they wouldn't have a choice, would they?
No, why would they not have a choice? Because you would leave a book with them, right? You would leave a book completely like just like the Quran. Why would
Milad,
the
Milad, one second. If I'm dead and my mother says Rumsey said this, you wouldn't accept that?
no, because
Okay,
if you're
Milad. So basically you need like an audio. You need like an audio recording.
no, I don't need an audio. I need a
That's
book
exactly
just like no, I need a book just like the Quran was preserved. I need a book like that. Like why
so if
would
so if I brought you a book, said this is the book by the Prophet Muhammad,
yeah.
you would accept that?
Yes, because you know what I would do? I
But
would
here's the
look
problem,
into
Milad. But here's the problem, Milad. Were you there when the Prophet wrote that book? Let's say that book exists. Let's say there's a book called the quotation. I Muhammad am writing this book saying this, that, the other. Were you there when the Prophet wrote that, or would
yeah.
somebody have
Okay,
to?
let me explain. Let me explain that. Let me
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah.
Because when you look at that book, when you look at the verses or whatever it's saying in the book, it would confirm what the Quran is saying. It wouldn't go against the Quran.
Good. So whether okay, good. So a direct quotation is not important. I don't know why you're talking. I don't know why you brought that up. Okay, because if you said, well, he would have to bring a book. He would have to leave a book for us. But you weren't there when he wrote that book. His companions would still have to give that to you. It's the same problem.
Listen, no, it wouldn't be the same problem because I just said I would reflect on his book and to find out if it's telling the truth,
so whether
if it's truly it's from him or not.
Okay, good. So it being given to you by a companion is not the problem. Agreed?
No, being quoted by a companion is the problem because I don't know if he said that or not. Because half of the things that are in the Hadith, they contradict the Quran. Wait, one second.
Imagine this. I'm a companion of the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad said this. Here you go. Take it. Will you accept it?
Yeah. So then I would look into it. I wouldn't just blindly take it, bro.
Okay.
So
Same thing.
You would take it blindly?
Okay, good. Now, same thing with the. Well, you just wait a minute. Earlier, you said, well, if someone's coming to me with the Quran, why would I question it? So I'll tell you what. I'm coming to you with the words of the Prophet. Why would you question it?
Because they contradict the Quran. That's what I'm trying to get to you.
You see, you would question it. You see, you don't just gullibly swallow everything. You see, with the Quran, you swallow it. You don't care.
No, I don't. I don't swallow it.
I have faith.
No.
I have faith. I have faith.
But I don't swallow it, brother. No.
You do. I kept asking you how you know it's preserved. I have faith.
Because the Quran says if you reflect on the words, you would know that it's from God.
How do you
preserved?
Which words? Wait, which words?
Huh?
If you change the recitation, does that change the words?
Slight difference in recitation doesn't change the words.
Good. The words, we could change the words.
No, I just said slight recitation change. Doesn't change the words, brother.
Manic and Medic, are those two different words or are they the same word?
They're the same word from the same root.
They're not the same word. Yes,
because they mean the same thing, brother. Whether it's a king or a ruler, it means the same message.
Excuse me. Malik and Melik are, whether you like it or not, you can keep doing this. They're two different Arabic words, whether you like it or not. Just like khimad and himad are two different words.
Those are big major changes.
Malik and Melik. Who gets to decide what's a major change is minor change?
Because himad, you can see there's no kh in it. Himad as a kh in it.
Milad. Who gets to decide what's a major change, what's a minor change? I don't think the change is that big a deal. I don't think khimad and himad. I don't think there's a. What if my opinion is
the meaning changes, brother? The meaning changes.
Malik and Medic, are they two different words?
Malik and Malik, yeah, they're two same words.
No, not the same word. Stop lying.
Same root words.
They are not the same word. They are okay.
They have the same root word, brother.
Malik, okay. Jama. Are they from the same root word?
I don't know. I got to look it up. I don't know if it's
they use the same letters. They use the exact same letters. No, they're not. Yes, they are from the same root word.
Are you sure? Okay, give me the words so I can look it up. Give it to me. I'll study these things and what you're saying.
Oh my God! You don't know how to spell the word Jama? You don't know
Jama? Okay, one is Jama, and then the other one is what?
Jama.
Jama, and then
Jama. There's two words. Jama. You don't know how to spell Arabic words.
Jama and Jama. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna look it up.
Jama. Those are same root word, two different meanings. What does Jama mean?
I'll look it up. So you said it was Friday, right? Friday gathering or something?
You earlier said, I remember earlier I asked you the meaning. You said you studied it. I learned it. Tell me.
I did, but I don't remember right now. I don't have my notes with
Oh,
me.
convenient,
But
very convenient. Okay, good. Because every time I ask you the question, I studied it, but you don't know it. Okay.
I studied the root word of it, and it didn't mean what you said to
So
me.
what's
Friday prayers.
so you studied the root word. What's the root word?
I have to look it up, but I don't have it right now with me. But it didn't mean what you said to me. So
My friend, this goes to show you literally know nothing about the Arabic language. Jama. Just recite. Okay, if I say car, can you? What's the letters in car? Car. Can you spell?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Okay. What's the root word of Jama?
The root word. I gotta look it up. I don't have. I said
Jama. Jama. Just the letters.
Jama. Okay, okay, that's the root word. Okay.
Jama. Okay, same root word, but can have different. But if multiple words come from the same root word, does that mean the meaning is not that different, or can the meaning be very different?
Depends on the text itself, like on the verse itself.
Oh, okay. So sometimes slight difference in recitation can make a drastic difference
No,
in it.
because it's the same recitation. It's in the same verse, brother. Malik is in the same verse. So it has the same meaning to it, brother.
Manic and Medic, are they two different words or are they the same word?
Okay, I'm not gonna go into this argument again with you, man. We're going in circles.
Are they the same word or a different word? You say they can't, as long as it doesn't change the words, are they the same word or a different word?
They're the same root word, so they're not
I
a
didn't
different.
ask you if they're the same root word. Are they the same word?
To my knowledge, it could be the same words.
This is what they literally have to do. They have to make up rules of Arabic to fit their narrative. They have to make up rules of Arabic. Manic and Medic, they're the same word. Yeah, they're the same word. This is absolutely brainless, people. Brainless. You can recite, everyone, you can recite the Quran however you'd like. You can change the words however you'd like. That is exactly what he's saying. We don't know how the Prophet recited the Quran. So you don't know how the Prophet recited the Quran, but you know the content of the Quran. You know the verses of the Quran. You know, I'm going to ask this one last question. You know what, Milad, I'm going to do you a favor. I'll be charitable. One last question, and then you're done. If you don't know how the Prophet recited the Quran, how do you know all these verses are part of the Quran? How do you know none of these verses were interpreted? How do you know every one of these verses is part of the Quran? If you didn't see the Prophet recite it, no, he's gone. He left. Bye-bye. I didn't kick him. He left. He left that time. It's good. Now he left. I can say he left on his own. Absolutely brainless, people. Brainless. We don't know how the Prophet recited the Quran. We don't know the content of the Quran. We can literally, guys, you guys notice he was refusing to just say it because he was afraid to say it. But guys, he was literally saying we can make things up. We can make up recitations. That's exactly what he said. We can recite however we'd like. Okay, so you can make it up. Why are you refusing to just say it as it is? If you believe you can recite however you'd like, that means you can make up whatever recitation you'd like. If it looks like a duck and it's quacking, it's a duck. Anyway, I see some amazing brothers backstage.